We begin our report with the 2024 presidential race. Next stop, the primary in Michigan. The Great Lakes state holds contests for both Democrats and Republicans on Tuesday. Former President Donald Trump and Nikki Haley are the Republican candidates. President Biden does not have a major primary challenger in the Democratic contest, but many in the large Arab and Muslim American community in Michigan who voted for him in 2020 say they might cast a protest vote in the upcoming primary due to Biden's nearly unwavering support for Israel in the Israel-Hamas war. Ed O'Keefe leads off our coverage from the battleground state.
Nikki Haley's latest primary defeat in South Carolina hasn't changed her mission on the campaign trail. Today in Michigan, convincing Republicans they can't afford to renominate Donald Trump.
He's not watching out for America. He's watching out for himself.
Exit polls showed more than 30% of South Carolina's Republican voters would be dissatisfied if Trump became the nominee. Haley tells us that should be a warning.
When you look back at results from over the weekend in South Carolina, what is your big takeaway?
Donald Trump did not get 40% of the vote. And that's the same thing that happened in Iowa. That's the same thing that happened in New Hampshire. And that should be a red flag for Republicans everywhere.
Haley also blasted Trump's takeover of the Republican National Committee. Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel announced she's stepping down, forced out by the former president, to make way for Trump's daughter-in-law and another ally to lead the party. Some RNC members are now concerned the committee may have to foot the president's legal bills.
You've got Donald Trump using the Republican Party as his playpen, and now going to take the Republican Party to be his legal slush fund. That is a sinking ship for Republicans.
Haley has promised to stay in the race through Super Tuesday when voters in 15 states go to the polls. But a key finance source is drying up. Americans for Prosperity Action, backed by the billionaire Koch brothers, says it'll no longer spend millions to help Haley because it doesn't think she has a path to victory after the loss in South Carolina. Trump, meanwhile, is under fire for saying this weekend that his indictments and mugshots boosted his appeal among African-American voters.
The mugshot, we've all seen the mugshot. And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. Black people are so much on my side now because they see what's happening to me happens to them.
And Ed O'Keefe joins me now from Lansing, Michigan. Ed, let me switch over to the other half of your beat, which is the White House. Can you walk us through this protest vote in Michigan urging Democrats to vote for, or those who are, and how large are they, who are urging Democrats to vote uncommitted?
Yeah, so it's an option they have here in Michigan in both primaries. It's a version of none of the above, in essence, a way to register opposition to those on the ballot. Progressives in this state and across the country urging Democrats in this state show up and vote uncommitted against the president and his stance on the Israel-Hamas war. That's a big issue in this state with large Arab American and Muslim American populations in and around Detroit and Dearborn. And it's been growing in popularity. Today, the Michigan governor warning there may be a big turnout for that and a big message sent to the president that he's got to readjust his thinking on the war if he expects to be able to hold on to this battleground state where you win by maybe just 10,000 votes. And that's what organizers are hoping for, at least 10,000 votes cast for uncommitted. Why 10,000 votes, John? That's the number of votes, roughly, that Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump by here back in 2016.
So every president gets grief from local parties on the ground saying that the president's not paying enough attention to the state. So how do we disconnect the message that they're sending from inside the state to the White House and to the re-election campaign? How do we, is there something actually unique happening here, or is some of this just the standard thing, which is the locals always saying they want more attention from headquarters?
It's a little bit of both, John. And look, the state party apparatus, its leadership is with the president, planning to vote for him. They don't mind that people in their state now get the national attention and the attention of the president in his re-election campaign. It's the whole reason they wanted to go earlier in the process. They are just the fourth state for Democrats, and that was by design. They wanted to put a big battleground state in the Midwest early in the calendar to force a conversation about issues of concern here. Labor union issues, of course, which the president's good on, and then issues related to the war, which he's, in the view of many people here, not so good on. But many who are voting uncommitted will tell you, John, just because they're doing this tomorrow doesn't mean they're going to be against him in November. They just want to hope that it inspires the president to tweak his thinking on the war, maybe become a little more outspoken in his support or in his criticism of Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government.
A vote for attention. Ed O'Keefe in Lansing, Michigan. Thanks so much, Ed.